Good evening. It's Wednesday evening. I think it's the 21st of January. It's been a hell of a week already. So on Monday, it was a meeting of the Special Management Zone, which is all the towns and villages particularly affected in North Warwickshire relating to HS2. And they give us a construction update. And this is where the first proper discussion or interaction relating to proposed road closures. So you'll have seen that as we've got closer and closer and closer and closer, the segments on the pylons are getting very close to the village, and they're now going to have to cross the 446, which means that the 446 is going to have to be closed. And the details of this closure are that they're going to be closed for 10 days, 24/7. Work's going to be undertaken 24/7 too. And the proposed mitigation of the impact of this. And the diversionary route that's been put into place actually goes from by junction 9 and goes all the way along the A4097, taking it around the top of Curdworth, down the Chester Road, and then rejoining somewhere much further down. And this diversion is over 9 miles long. And on a good day would take best part of 25 minutes, is so we're being told. God knows what it's going to be like when it's taking all this extra traffic. And who follows a diversion now anyway? You're going to see a sign saying diversion. Invariably, people are going to end up following their sat nav, so they're going to be following their Apple Maps, Google Maps, whatever. Everyone's connecting their, well, a lot of people are connecting their phones direct to the car and it's taking them the direct route. And the most direct route is going to be coming through our village. So there's also talk about communications and detailing this for everyone and detailing the diversions. But the fact is that the people who are going to be affected are going to be the people within Water Orton. But in terms of their being affected by the road closure, it's going to be affected by the overflow of traffic. It's not the people who would normally be coming into Water Orton that are going to be creating any havoc around here. It's going to be people that are travelling down the A446, be that from the motorway up to Lichfield or Lichfield down to the motorway, or all of those kind of things as well. There's the issues with Hams Hall, and I don't think there's any recognition in relation of people who are going to be directly affected. If this village becomes snarled, if you've got a hospital appointment, what are you going to do? How are you going to be taking your kids to school? How are you going to be picking your kids up from school? How are kids going to get to school? How are people going to get to work? How are people going to get back from work? And how are people who teach at the school get into here? And there's so many impacted groups that impact on everyone's lives if this isn't done properly. So at SMZ there was some really strong voices that were putting forward. I detailed this. The fact that it's taking place the week after half term. If it's 10 days, we could have the 2 days before half term, the 5 days of the week, and the 2 days afterwards. It's only 1 day of full disruption, but that would make a great deal of sense. What are the impacts going to be on bus services? What are going to be the impacts on, getting people in and out? Yeah. So there has been an emergency secondary meeting convened to detail with all the responses to all of the questions and all of the queries that have taken place. And that's been convened by the MP's office. Thank you to them. And that's looking at being the 2nd of Feb, by which time hopefully we'll have more detailed plans in terms of HS2 and what happens when it all goes wrong. I've actually detailed that at the very least I want to see boots on the ground within Water Orton who are managing key junctions on either side of the Veazey Bridge, on either side of the railway bridge, at the junction of Coleshill Road by the in between the two churches, because these are pressure and pinch points where if there is not proper management, it takes very little for our infrastructure to come to a grinding halt and then it's game over. we want to know whether blue light has been consulted. How would we get an ambulance into this village? How would we get a police car? How would we get a fire engineer out of here as well? These are standard kind of aspects which we've got to be concerned. Again, and we want to know, is it why are we not getting as much notice, and why the consultation has not taken place? Is that we shouldn't having to be pointing out these issues. They were meant to be professionals who are dealing with this. Who's been involved? Is it just HS2, or have they been dealing with county highways? Have they been dealing with Birmingham City Council, because it's going across that boundary? It's probably going to go through Solihull as well when they're going down the Chester Road. So what kind of coordination has been there? What kind of dialogue's been taking place, and why have we been included into that consultation? And how is information going to be coming out during that time? And that, you can't take shortcuts on that. You can't just say, well, we're going to hit 50% of the people, because the people who really need to be consulted aren't going to be there. So I've come up with a list of proposals of the very minimum things that I want to see. But we want to work to best practice here. Yeah. So this is HS2 primarily, but I want to know who they've been discussing it with as well. It's suspected it's going to be county highways who will have to sign off on some of this, or had some kind of input. But I'm not sure that consultation has been as strong or as wide as it needs to be. I'll keep you updated as soon as I can, as much as I can, via various channels. But this is taking up an awful lot of time, when it should just be done right and done properly straight away. But yeah, I'll keep you informed. If you've got any comments, please leave them below. Talk, share, subscribe, all of that kind of nonsense. Let's get the word out there. All the best. Bye.